Hey everybody, it's Jo. I know I didn't do the intro, I didn't do countdown, I didn't do anything. But I've just been watching the Barilaro versus Google trial. Now, one of the things that his Barilaro's lawyers done in the first, or barristers done in the first thing, is that they've just shown the bruz video, and she has talked about a reasonable person. So she's using the reasonable test. And so when we talk about strange, there's a whole section in here on defamation, and she keeps talking about a reasonable person. So it's about a reasonable person. What would a reasonable person see when they say that? So essentially she's implying that all of us that have liked the video are not essentially reasonable, but anyway, but it's an objective standard. So, which a reasonable person, guided upon those considerations which ordinarily regulate the conduct of human affairs, would do, or doing something which a prudent and reasonable person would do. Okay? So, it means that would a reasonable person look at this? Now, she keeps talking about a reasonable person. So, she has implied, she talks about sensible and reasonable person. She said a sensible or reasonable person would pause the video and check the sources, because what the allegations that Family Geordies has made are actually wrong. So I've taken that challenge. What would a reasonable person do? So we're actually going to look at the screenshots, and we're going to see what would a reasonable person do. So here we go. Let's have a look at what a reasonable person. So here's the first screenshot that appeared in the Friendly Geordies video. YouTube star. So he's actually shown a video. YouTuber appeared to mock. So that's from Daily Mail. So first of all, he has acknowledged 2 minutes in that he's mocking them, and to imitate myself and the premier with such obvious distaste for our backgrounds is unacceptable. So he's stated that. Okay. So that's the first screenshot. So his first thing that he's done is he's criticized himself. So then we get to the next screenshot here. Let's pull up the next screenshot, and we're going to do Google searches, because she was stating that Google kept it up because he backed a lot of his allegations with reputable news sources, which, we're going to do. So we're going to actually have a search and have a look at the article. So Barilaro's backing of federal Darling basins of Commission muddies waters. So let's have a look at this video. So this is from the Sydney Morning Herald. So SMH, we're going to look up John Barilaro, Murray-Darling Basin Royal Commission. I'm going to pull up the article, okay? Because that's what we do. Oh, look, here it is. Let's pull this one up. Here is the full article, okay? As I said, I'm prepared. We're going to look at all of these where we can. Okay. So this was in January 31, 2019. He's conceded that the Federal Royal Commission into water may be necessary as desperate residents in far west New South Wales demand action from the state government. He was in Menandean yesterday as the findings of the South Australian Murray-Darling Basin Royal Office initially issued a defensive statement about the final report by Commissioner Brett Walker SC, saying the government would take time to fully consider the 746-page report, and the gloves were off when it comes to fighting for our water rights. He said rural communities need certainty rather than politically charged inquiries. They don't need hysteria, legal challenges, or politicking from New South Wales Labor and South Australian counterparts, or worse still, the inaccurate vitriol that comes from the likes of the Australian Green Senator Sarah Hanson-Young, the statement said. Interestingly, Chrysanthou defended, anyway. But during the day, Barilaro addressed a meeting with locals in far western New South Wales in the Darling River where he struck a different note. I think one of the best comments to come out today was a Royal Commission where you actually can cross border, cross jurisdictions, and get a clearer picture of the whole basin plan gathering. And then Chris Minns said Labor said the government needs to get the story straight. So it looks like from this article that Barilaro was jumping from one side to the other, depending on who he was representing. That's what it seems like from this report. I'm doing exactly what Sue Chrysanthus said. Read the article. It beggars belief that after 3 years of refusing to allow a Royal Commission to get to the bottom of the mess, Mr. Barilaro has thrown his minister under a bus and is now calling for one. The report also painted a picture of river line in ruin and clearly criticised the plan to re-engineer the Mengineer Lakes, a move supported by other basin states. Recommendation 7.9 said the Mandiri proposal does not present an organised, comprehensive, consistent or persuasive care for the project. New South Wales Labor, unlike its federal and state counterpart, opposes the Mandiri Lakes plan, so Labor's opposing it. Right. So we've got Barilaro saying yes to a Royal Commission, no to a Royal. Anyway, all right, it's that article. Okay, let's go. Next one, next screenshot. And you'll see that the screenshots that I have taken have all got timestamps on them. So you can also see where I've taken the timestamps from. I'm happy to, admit if I'm wrong or if calling out. The other interesting thing that came out of it was the fact that apparently Friendly Geordies shouldn't be calling himself a journalist because he doesn't have a journalist credential. I found that to be quite interesting. So here's the next screenshot. This is at 6 minutes in. The Liberal and Nationals votes against Royal Commission. This is from the Shooters, Farmers and Fishers website, their news. So this has come from Shooters, Fishers. So this is interesting. So again, it is a it's from their website. It's their news. It's come from their news page. Taken that from a news page. I'm going to see if I can get back that far. August the 8th, 2019. Okay. Where are we? 2021. Go back a little bit. And I'm doing this live, and I'm not doing this. I'm not going to edit this, so you're going to have to just wait with me here. I may as well take you on my search with me because I want you to see that this is all above board. I'm not mucking around here. So June, that's June 20. How preferences work, we're getting there. So up to page, let's go to page 7. Oh, April 20, 2020. Now, this is from April 17, 2020. Barilaro's political impotence, firing blanks and unable to pass water. This is from April. This is from 2020. That's amazing. So in here, called out the Deputy Premier on his failure to deliver vital water to irrigators and farmers to enable them. So this party's calling him out. So that's April 20. We're not up to Barilaro's throws New South Wales a hospital pass, playing a blame game with water. So at April 14, is engaging in a Ruby Princess style buck passing. This is all on here. I'm letting my fingers do the walking. Bruz. Nationals remain silent on water registry. John Farn and Barilaro embarks on his latest farewell basin tour. This party is actually mocking Barilaro. That was August, wasn't it? August the 8th. So it's September. We're not far away now. Liberals and Nationals vote against Royal the Commission. Look, this is the one that he has just shown. Let's get it up for comparison. I don't know how to do the split screens for split screen. Where are we? The screenshot. Look. Liberals vote against the Liberal government. See if I can get another one in there. No, it won't let me do it. Okay. I don't know how to do split screen into split screen, but that's okay. Right. So when we go to here, the Liberal National Government has denied the regional community for transparency, voting down the motion for a into Murray-Darling Basin. Then they've come down here. Last night was an opportunity for the government to draw a line in the sand to support an inquiry, start questioning the legitimate concerns of the people of Barwon. Here is the article. So, the motion was defeated by 3 votes, with Labor and the Crossbench voting for it, and the Nationals joining the Liberals to defeat it. It beggars belief that the Deputy Premier would tell the people in Mandiri that we need a Royal Commission and then vote against it in Parliament. Our previous article just stated, anyway, all we need was 2 nationally where their mouth is support their moment. Mrs. Dalton also questioned Mr. Barilaro's sudden change of heart on South Australia's lower lakes. I'd be screaming about South Australian water wastage for years, but the Nationals always defend it. Barilaro's government drained the Mandiri lakes and sent 7 years of supply to drinking water to South Australia. Mrs. Dalton said the talk of South Australia was a distraction. So naturally, John Barilaro just wants to talk about South Australia, but we need to address the problems at both ends of Marindara. That's why we need a Royal Commission. Right. As I said, we're putting... So far, I'm not seeing untrue allegations. I'm just saying. Now, I've seen this one. I mean, it's interesting that in all of the stuff that she's talking about, and this has been, I mean, remember, she's trying to paint her client in a good light. Helen, you are a disgusting human. All politics. Today was a decision for my family. May the 4th, 2020. Now, we've seen that. We've pulled that up on Twitter. So we don't need to, but, you know. My whole thing is he's complaining about how his feelings have been hurt. Well, that's pretty vile, in my opinion. And does that mean that Helen Dalton could actually do him for hurt feelings? I'm just talking. I'm just putting it out there. Here's our next screenshot. So this is New South Wales government. This is a New South Wales government site. So she actually stating now that the New South Wales government site's wrong. Is that what she's saying? Because that's what I'd be interested in. So this is October, 17th of October, New South Wales. She said, any normal person, New South Wales is setting up an equity fund to buy a stake in companies with potential to create jobs in New South Wales. The Go Equity Fund will support successful small and medium business companies that are ready to embark on significant expansion. The capital funding invested into companies could create up to 2,500 new jobs, support growth in regional communities, and deliver other positive impacts. A partnership between the New South Wales Government, First State Super, and the private equity investment firm Rock Partners, First State Super will allocate an initial $1 million, and the New South Wales Government's Job for New South Wales initiative will add a further $50 million to the fund. Minister for Regional New South Wales Small Business and Skills, John Barilaro, said instead of launching a loan or grant program, the government was thinking outside the box. So that's his all right, we've read the article. She said any reasonable person. So we're looking at reasonable. I'm doing exactly what I was advised to do. I'm pausing the articles and reading them. I would suspect. So the New South Wales government spent millions of dollars buying a stake in a loss-making Southeast Oyster company leaving the industry concerned. The investment lacked transparency, posed a potential conflict of interest. Some oyster farmers have accused government of playing favourites over its decision to invest $3.3 million in Australia's oyster coast and claimed it would move to distort the market in the kingdom. So this is from 2018. This article, okay? So that's the next one. Then we've got this one. This one again. I mean, it's funny that they talked about reputable. They were talking about the fact about using reputable news articles. Well, Sydney Morning Herald. New South Wales Deputy Premier signed off on a controversial $3.3 million investment in an oyster farm, despite telling parliamentary hearing that the decision had nothing to do with him. The opposition has accused Mr. Barilaro of misleading Parliament after he told budget estimates that the decision to buy a stake in a loss-making farm was done at arm's length of government. Now we're just reading what the screenshots state. Hello? Then there's this one. Yeah, it's working out well. Bruz, thanks for telling me to do this. Briefing operation, fund or privy, go equity fund. The Jobs has made the recommendation for the deputy who proven his capacity, approve making, note the joint venture will execute raised in related documents for, so it's his signature essentially. Okay, I'm not going to go. Then we've got, this is fun. Then we've got this one. Some of these screenshots aren't very good, I apologise. The member for Monaro, Deputy Premier John Barilaro, has been ordered by the New South Wales Upper House to release secret documents about a controversial $150 million investment fund he oversaw last year. The government voted against the order, but the crossbench MP sided with Labor in the first major challenge and defeat for the government since the March election. This was from the Braidwood Times. Interesting. Right. So, as I said, his lawyer was saying any reasonable person would pause the videos and read what they stated because they did not back up what Shanks was saying. The 2016 Wild Horse Management Plan handed to New South Wales recommended reducing the number of horses. The plan will not go ahead, and the government will instead look to pass legislation to protect the animals. Deputy New South Wales Premier John Barilaro said cultural significance of the Brumbies needed to be recognised. We're 10 minutes in. So, culling of, right, that's from the ABC. Next article. Brumby Bill, Labor wants investigation into Deputy Premier's alleged link to donor. New South Wales opposition is calling on an investigation into allegations the Deputy Premier failed to disclose a relationship with a political donor who could benefit from a controversial policy to protect feral horses. The Labor leader, Luke Foley, wants a parliamentary debate on a bill to ban the culling of the Brumbies in the Kosciuszko National Park, suspended until national leaders from Barilaro is cleared of any conflict of interest. You know the old saying, now, according to Bruz's lawyer, his barrister, if you would click on the articles, you would discover that everything that was said was untrue. What they show to me is that there is some questions that needed to be answered by Mr. Barilaro. Do they prove that don't forget, we know that he said that he was John Pork barreling. He admitted to it. We know that that's a fact. That's a fact, But anyway, I've just taken up her challenge. What do you think? tell me in the comments below. I'll be interested to hear your thoughts. Bye for now.